the internet, my name is Laura and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a video that I've been really excited about for a while, and that is my November plant haul. I ended up getting a lot of plants this month. I actually had to make a list because I started getting them and I was like, I'm not going to remember all of these in what order and blah blah blah, and then it turned into even more. So I have a lot of plants to show you guys. They're all on the table over here. You can kind of see the shadow. I thought that would be kind of a nice little, but I am going to show you all of these plants that I have gotten in order of when I have gotten them, and hopefully I don't forget any. But anyway, we're going to start out, of course, the first one is like all the way over on the other side, so I'm going to have to reach for it. All right, the first plant that I got this month was my Philodendron Brazil. It's just a little guy. I got it for $5.98. It's still in its original pot. If you saw my original video, the reason that I love this was because of I just love the color that was on some of these huger leaves. I just really like the coloring on these really big leaves, and so I'm hoping that some of the smaller leaves that are growing in are gonna take on some of that same coloring. This had a lot of new growth points when I first picked it up, and then it stopped growing like almost completely. I got this close to the beginning of the month, and it like basically stopped growing, and I think one or two of the things that were growing in actually died off of it, which is kind of sad. But now it is growing again. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 new leaves coming in. This one here is unfurling. And this one here is also unfurling. So it's doing really, really well, and I'm super happy about it because I have since then, of course, seen some really, really gorgeous Philodendron Brazil plants like at different nurseries, and I've had to remind myself that I already have one and I don't need to buy another one, that this one will eventually grow really, really well. And it's starting to. I think it just had to adapt. I had to learn how to water it a little bit better, and it's doing super happy. And I just love the color on these leaves, and I like how big the leaves that were already on here really are. Like, I don't know if that means it's a more mature plant that they took a cutting from or whatever, because the newer leaves are a little bit smaller, obviously. But I'm hoping that I get some more of these really big leaves with the nice coloring on them pretty soon. So, Philodendron Brazil, that is my first plant from this month. At the same time that I picked up the Philodendron Brazil, I also picked up this cactus. I am not going to try and pronounce the name on this cactus. I will show it to you. That is the name on this cactus. The reason that I fell in love with this one, I'm not really a cactus fan, for as much as I like succulents. I have a theory as to why, but I'm not really going to share that with you. But anyway, this cactus I found, and I was really intrigued by the color of the spines, how they're like a brownish as opposed to like kind of the white that's pretty normal. It was also getting ready to flower, and you can see a lot of the spent flowers there. I'm going to insert a picture of what it looked like while it was blooming. Pause for picture. Really, really cute. Beautiful pink blooms. And this is the only cactus that I have, and I love it, and I'm not really all that interested in getting more cactus at this point. Maybe someday. But this guy is, in my collection, and I need to repot him soon, and I have no idea how to do that. I think it requires gloves. But yeah, just really love the coloring on this guy. So this is I just call it my cactus because it's the only one I have. Okay, so the next plant I got is one where I was at Home Depot and I was not expecting to see it. It's like when you go to Home Depot and you see all the normal stuff that's like, oh, I've seen that Dracaena a million times, of the golden pothos. And then I saw this guy and I was like, oh my God, what is that? I do not recognize the leaves. And so I went over and unfortunately I watered this right before I decided that I was gonna film this video. So this is a purple sword alocasia. And you can kind of see where the newer leaves that popped out since I got it have the nice purple color on the back of them. They are just starting to harden. They popped out a little bit after I got them. And this plant's been doing really, really well. I was planning on getting a few alocasias, more common alocasias, because eventually I want a Frydek, and I wanted to make sure that I don't kill that plant. I wanted to make sure that I have a house where I can keep alocasias, and definitely the one thing I've noticed is that it needs to be watered a lot more than my succulents do. This one's been going through water pretty quickly, and I don't know if it's because it's growing new leaves or what, but like, I feel like more than once a week I'm needing to water this plant. At the same time, if you saw my other video, it was a little beat up when I got it. And it had some lower leaves that were like yellowing and falling off in the normal way that alocasias do. But I took it up to the customer service center at Home Depot and I said, this plant's looking a little rough, but I want it. Could you guys give me a discount? And so this $10 plant, it's in 6-inch pot. Does it have the price on here? It does, $9.98. I got this plant for $3. And it has been growing wonderfully since I've had it. I think it's my proof that I can indeed keep alocasias alive. And I'm just super happy with this plant in general. When you look at the leaves, like, and this is one of the things that I think alocasias don't always come across really well on camera. It just has these wonderful designs, like the veins make these wonderful designs on the leaves. And like, if you ever see it with light coming through, it just looks awesome. And so that's kind of what made me fall into love with alocasias. And then this one's got the cool little, like, stripes, little kind of stripes on the leaf or on the stems as well, which I really, really like. But anyway, $3 for this guy, and he's growing super awesome. I've got those, like I said, it's grown one new leaf from each plant since I got it, and doesn't look like there's another new one yet, but I'm not in any doubt that it will be growing new ones. So that was my alocasia purple sword. Stick that back so it doesn't distract you. My next plants are all the 4 that I got from the nursery that's up in Roanoke. I did that plant haul at the end, but obviously I'm just doing an overall plant haul, so I'm going to be showing all of them again if I can find them. Oh, right. So one of them, this succulent here with the little crinkled edge leaves, I ended up putting it into an arrangement because I wanted to try doing an arrangement. But this was one of the first ones I got. This was $9.99. And this was a succulent that I've seen in videos before and thought was really cool, and I just happened to see it and I was like, well, now I absolutely need it. And what I think is really cool, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, if I could tip it far enough, the little baby leaves kind of come in red, like in the center, and they're growing out, and so they've got this reddish color as they come out, and then they turn to green as they come out, obviously. But this guy, still haven't looked up the name for him, but I really, really like him, and obviously I made him the center of this arrangement. So, really happy with that guy. All right, and then this plant that I didn't think I was gonna see in person was Philodendron Prince of Orange. I think this leaf has already, it was more orange when I got it. It has already started fading out to the green that, you know, these philodendrons do. We've got another leaf, as you can see, coming in there. Oh, no, this leaf is in the way. There we go. Another leaf coming in there. So when that one comes out, that one will be nice and bright and orange. I really kind of want to repot this, but I've heard you're not really supposed to repot them while the leaves are coming out, or like the leaves get damaged, kind of like how this leaf here is like got these little dents in it or whatever. And so I'm kind of waiting until this new leaf comes out and unfurls before I repot it. And I also think there might be another plant in here, like another little baby philodendron over here on the side. So I'll find out that when I end up being able to replant it. But just the color on this philodendron just really makes me happy, because it's so striking. You know, a lot of my plants are kind of, I mean, they're green. I mean, lots of plants are green, and so I always like it when there's some unusual color, and that's kind of why I fell in love with the philodendron in the first place, or this philodendron Prince of Orange in the first place. So that is him. One of the other plants that I got when I was at that nursery is this begonia breakdance, and I am like so in love with this plant. I think it is just so gorgeous, and I've been like low levels of anxiety that I'm gonna kill it. Like low levels of anxiety. And we've been going through the whole, it kind of drooped a little bit because I didn't water it enough, and then I watered it and it perked up, and this leaf here was far, far smaller, and it's starting to finally like come out, and everything's feeling beautiful and strong, and it just, I mean, just look, I command you. I mean, this leaf here, it's a little beat up, you know, you can see, but I mean, the leaf is as big as my hand is. I mean, like literally as big as my hand is, this leaf is. And so it is a little bit beat up. It definitely took some damage in shipping and moving it around, but the new leaves are just coming in pristine, and I am just, like I said, I'm so in love with this plant. I'm so in love with this plant. And I got it for $9.99. Got this for $9.99. And it occurs to me now that the fourth plant is upstairs, so I'm going to have to go get that. It was in timeout. I will explain that when I come back. Okay, I'm back with my Alocasia poly, which I always thought was going to be my first Alocasia until I just found the purple sword that one time, and I was like, well, okay, I'm going to take it. I got this guy from the same nursery as the previous three plants. And he has been through some things. When I was at the nursery, all of the polys that they had were like infested with mealybugs. And the lady who was working there offered to clean it up for me, and she cleaned it all up. She put some anti-bug granules in the soil. And I took it home and knew that it had to be kept separate from the other plants until, you know, I was sure that all the mealybugs were dead. And so it was in a different place when I went away for Thanksgiving, and my cat knocked it over and proceeded to chew one of the leaves off. So right there's just like a little stub, and break off 3 or 4 other leaves. I mean, you can see the little stubs there of where they were. Super, super unhappy that happened. And there was a second, you can see there's a little baby growing in here. It had a second leaf, and there was a second plant over here that was growing that has just completely died at this point. The mealybugs seem to be under control. I haven't seen one in a while. And the plant itself looks great and healthy. So I'm not really worried about that, but it just, poor guy has just had the roughest life so far with me. And so I'm hoping to really improve that. I'm probably going to go another week or so and make sure I don't see any more mealybugs, like wait for the cycle. It might be 2 weeks. I'll have to look it up. Make sure that I don't get any more mealybugs so that he can join everybody else, so that he no longer has to be alone and in a place where my cat can get him. And I'm really looking forward to seeing both of my alocasias grow. I mean, I just love alocasias, and this was, I'm so glad that I got this plant and that it was so healthy, and I'm just so sad that it has taken the beating that it has. But it's still going strong. He is not showing any signs of distress. You know, those leaves just were eaten and snapped off, and he's kept going. So there's my alocasia Polly. So this one is one that I actually found at Lowe's, and I went and did a video, and I saw it, and I didn't buy it, and then I kept thinking about it, and I then went back and bought it because I just had to have it, and it is this Alsobia. I left the little tag on there, but we don't really care about that right now. Does that come off? Yeah. This is my Alsobia. Got it for $10 or $11. And all these little leaves are just velvety. They're so soft. And it's a trailing plant, and it has been growing like crazy since I got it. Like, I had like 2 or 3 of these little trailing bits, and now there's like all of these, like all over the place. And I mean, there's even coming up from the top here. Like you can see that little guy coming up there. It's just been super happy, and I'm not convinced I've watered it yet. It's a little dry. I should probably water this at some point. And one of these little guys must have gotten damaged or something because the leaves were starting to droop. So I snipped it off of there and I threw it in my water propagation bowl that I have upstairs, because it has the little nodes, or the little aerial roots trying to grow on the bottom of each of these little nodes. And I just threw it in there, and it's perked up, and so I assume it's going to start growing leaves. So I didn't even try and propagate it, and I propagated it. But it's just so pretty, and I love these leaves. And apparently it flowers these white, if you look them up, it flowers these weird white flowers that kind of look like they've gone through a paper shredder. I don't know. I was intrigued by that, and that it's so fuzzy. So I just had to pick it up, and I'm really, really enjoying this plant. Like, this is one that was not even on my radar until I saw it in the store, and then I was like, I have to get it, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So it seems to be a pretty easy care plant. Pretty easy care plant, and I am really, really enjoying it. All right, now this next set of plants I'm really, really excited to bring up for you to see, because they are plants that I have not done a plant haul on yet. So they're all plants that I got. It's possible that you've seen some of them in videos of like the nurseries and all that kind of stuff. You would have seen them on the way past, but I've never actually done a plant haul where I said I bought this plant and now I own it. So this is going to be the introduction to all of these plants that I got. There was one point at which I went back to Lowe's, and I decided finally that I needed to get myself a watch chain. I brought it home and was putting it on the shelf where all of my plants are going, and it promptly fell off and landed on its head. Broke off a whole bunch of leaves, and I've still been pulling out little bits that are like no longer connected, that are just sitting in there because it's just kind of a, I don't know. But really good. Oh, I guess technically you saw it in the first arrangement, because I took some of it apart and put it in there. But I'm just kind of let this guy grow for a little while. And I mean, again, he fell and broke, so there wasn't really anything wrong with him, and I'm just gonna let him be growing happy. And then at the same time that I bought that one, this is the one that I was looking at where it has these weird little hairs on it. and they're like soft hairs. They're not spiky like a cactus. And I went ahead and bought it because I was just so intrigued by it. The problem is that I haven't been able to yet get it to a point where, all right, we're gonna try that again. This little succulent, I still haven't been able to get the leaves to feel like they're filled with water. At the same time, I don't want to, I've been having a lot of trouble with overwatering plants since I've gotten them. It's like winter and they're inside. And so I've been playing around with how to water them without killing them. I mean, it's as simple as that. This is my first winter with plants. And the struggle is real. All right, and then these next ones are the plants that I got while I was at Valley View Farms, which is so far the fanciest, not the fanciest, so far the nursery with the largest selection of rarer plants that I've ever been to in person. And so unsurprisingly, I got 5 plants and I wanted to get about 15 more. So, all right, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and show those to you. So the first one is kind of an odd case. I was looking at the terrarium section where they just have a whole bunch of little plants that are basically all labeled like this. And I saw this guy, and the leaves are fuzzy, like my Alsovia. They're variegated. It's got little flowers coming in, like at the base of the stems there. The hair on the stem itself is red. And I was just in love with this plant, and I have no idea what it is. And I have no idea how to keep it alive. But I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna grow it big, and one day it's gonna be a plant, and maybe one day I'll even know what it is. But right now, it is my little variegated terrarium plant. Oh, it looks really big when I put it there. Look, head test. Head test. Okay, I've made myself laugh, it's great. All right, next guy is my first Hoya. You may have seen in the video that they had larger Hoyas. And I've seen a Hindu rope before, and it was like $12, and it was like one plant, and it was like yay long. I mean, it was like one. This guy has 3 plants in here, and it has 4 growth points, because this one is kind of split, so there's 4 growth points on here. And this was $14. So I'm really happy with this because it's kind of short right now, obviously, but it's got 4 growth points. So once it starts growing, because right now I think it's still acclimating, but once it starts growing, there will be 4 points for it to grow from, and that means hopefully it will get pretty full pretty nicely, and quickly. I know that it doesn't grow super fast in the first place, but I've been looking for one of these guys for a while, and when I found that one that was $12, like, I had to hold myself back because I was just like, I don't want to pay that much for just the one kind of small plant. And I'm really glad I did, because for $1 more, I got 3 plants and 4 growth points. So this guy has not shown any growth yet, but I haven't had it for very long, and I'm willing to wait for it and learn how to water it. I'm probably gonna end up repotting it at some point. It looks like it's got a decent amount of orchid bark in there, so it's probably pretty easy draining. But I'm really excited about my first Hoya, so. All right, and I'm forgetting plants right and left. You'll know what I mean in a minute, because I'm gonna stick this in before the other plants that I forgot. But I also got this Echeveria, which I just fell in love with the red on the edges of the leaves, like there's a pattern of red. Not sure how easy it is to see on the camera. Hopefully you can see it. This guy unfortunately took a little bit of a beating getting home, and some of his leaves got chopped off. But he's still doing great. Again, superficial damage, and he'll grow up eventually. This echeveria doesn't seem to grow very compactly. I don't know if that's like a specific type of echeveria. There's a little card in here, but oh no, it does say nodulosa. It doesn't say it on the front, it says it on the back. That is what this is called. So I really just couldn't pass up this guy because I just really love the pattern on the leaves so much. I'm hoping once I get him outside in the sun, those red markings will really show up better, but the undersides are nice and red as well. So it's just a really cool looking echeveria, so I picked that up. Now, back to the regular video. And these last two, so that was a wish list plant. I guess I should say that. That was definitely a wish list plant. These last two plants that I want to show you are also wish list plants that I thought I was going to have to order online until I saw them in the store. And I'm really, really excited to see them, and I knew that I couldn't leave without them. That's right. It's a Haworthia tessellata. And this one, I mean, this has always been so, I thought this was so gorgeous ever since I've seen it, because like the whole leaf is made up of window panes. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you look at the bottom, five little baby plants, along with the full size, or the largest plant in there. Seriously, I didn't think I was ever going to find this guy in a store, and he is just absolutely beautiful. I had to bring it home. And I'm so scared of killing it. I'm so scared of killing a lot of these. And then the last plant is another Haworthia retusa. And this one has the beautiful little window panes all on the sides of the leaves like that. I think it has like 3 babies coming in. So, I mean, you know, I'm gonna keep growing. I love Haworthias. I mean, it's really kind of weird, but I love the window pane Haworthias more than the zebra stripe ones, so those are okay. I just love these window panes. I think they're just the coolest little thing. And I didn't think I was ever going to find either of these in a store that I was just going to be able to like pick them up. I mean, like, there were multiple ones. I got to pick which one I wanted. It wasn't even, oh my gosh, it's the only one there, I have to get it. It was, well, this one looks nice. Okay, this one's got a couple babies. Let me get this one. You know, that was how it was with both of these, and I was so grateful. And I forgot to plant. It's a large plant, and it's on the floor, and that is why I forgot about it, because it's not on the table, so I'm going to have to shift everything around a little bit. And this you guys probably saw if you were watching my big box store video. Ugh. That's right. It is my albino bird of paradise. This is the one that blooms in white and blue, as opposed to the normal bird of paradise flowers that are orange and blue. And I have been looking for one of these for a while. You may have seen in other videos where like I've tried to get them on discount, because I don't know if these leaves are like particularly prone to damage. They seem to be, because like even this one is pretty beat up in some places. But I ended up getting this one with 3 plants in the pot, with this cool little like pot. It's got the, I'm not going to lift it out because it's way too heavy, but it's got the nursery pot inside of this white pot. And with really, really nice, big, gorgeous leaves that are, for the most part, not ripped. Some of them are, and it's got like little bitty damages on it. This poor leaf had got stuck while it was unfurling, but it's doing okay now. But the best one that I've seen for the best price, the best size. I was not paying $64 if some of you guys saw the really big ones. There were really big ones for $64. I'm gonna grow this one up that big, and it's gonna flower one day, and it's gonna be amazing. But for right now, I'm super happy with this plant. And this plant is teaching me, because I have this on the floor and I've got a light shining down on it. And I just come in and I see these like huge, just green leaves. And I'm starting to appreciate why people like monsteras so much. Because like these leaves, I mean, these leaves are bigger, as big as my head. Let's see if I can do a head test without breaking anything. Head test. Head test. Just seeing these huge leaves really just does something in my brain where I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So I kind of understand the monstera thing before, even though before I was like, well, I might get an albo monstera one day, but I don't really particularly care about the monstera itself. I don't know, I might have to get a monstera now. We'll see. They're kind of expensive. If I get one with decent sized leaves, it's kind of expensive. But for right now, I'm super happy with my bird of paradise. And you can go ahead and tell me which of my November plant haul plants is your favorite. Which one would you have gotten? Would you have gotten all of them? Would you have gotten none of them? I don't know. But I'd like to hear. And thank you so much for watching. I'm not sure that I'm going to be getting very many plants in December because, you know what, technically that's not a plant haul, but it did come from a nursery, so I think I might go ahead and show you guys that anyway. I was going to make it its own video, but that seems kind of silly now. Alright, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So you guys may not know this about me, but I am, in addition to being a plant mom, actually a fantasy author. I don't have any books published yet, but I'm working on it, and I am a super, super fan of griffins, which are the half lion, half eagle mythological creature. And they are nowhere near as popular as dragons, and so it's actually kind of hard for me to find griffin stuff a lot. I've actually got a blog post. I don't even know if you guys be interested in that. I've got a blog post where I show all of my griffin things. I'll link it in the description if you're even interested. But when I was at the Blue Mount Nursery, which you just saw a video for, I found these guys, and despite them being really, really expensive, I ended up getting them anyway, and it ate up a lot of my plant budget, but I totally think it's worth it. I don't know if you will, but I totally think it's worth it. Yep, that is a griffin statue. It is about 3 feet tall, and ignore the mess in the background, please, but, you know, and it's been outside for a really long time, so the wings are really, really chipped and crappy, but I'm planning on rebuilding it, and I'm just so happy. And there's actually a second one. They were a pair. Unfortunately, I wanted to have them flanking the door here, like, and then have the other one over here, but it's not wide enough, like you would run into it going through the door, and so, this is Candith. He sits out in the hallway and he guards the front door. And then the other one is his sister Wyrith. And she's in here with me. guarding my plants. And I'm like I said, these were kind of expensive. I got them on a huge discount because they had been sitting out there for however long, I don't even know. But I'm just so in love with them, and I'm so glad that I own them. And I know that they're not plants, that's why I'm trying to put plants in the background, so you guys who are like, why is she showing us these silly things, are not like completely turned off. So there you go, I showed them to you. And I probably won't do too much more with them. You'll see Worth in the background of the videos, just because she's right near my plants. But yep, there she is. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that plant haul, and enjoyed the plants, and even enjoyed seeing my new Griffin statues. And if you did like this video, go ahead and give me a like. And if you want to hang around a bit more and see what other crazy things I'm going to just suddenly show you one day, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And I think that is it for today. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.